What is happening? What is like what are we doing? Like what is happening?
What's up, guys? Welcome to the, I don't even know which Chillporeal this is now, but yeah, so this week we are featuring the one, the Genki, Gray-san.
Hello, Ohayou gozaimasu from Japan. How are you? I hope you're good. I hope you're Genki, Teahouse.
Good. I'm good. Yosh. Okay, that doesn't. Okay, that's probably not the wrong word, but hey, but yeah, thanks so much for joining me. It's been a while since we've done something together. I think the last time we were on stream together, at least on my channel, was Picard.
Oh my goodness. Wow, the memories. Oh, the memories. But yeah, it's great to get back in touch and, to get back on the stream with you. I was saying the same thing to Mrs. Wakizashis. Like, I've not been on like friends streams for ages. I've been like, I feel like a recluse. Is it Hikikomori? Hikikomori. That's it.
Hikikomori. So
The people who like hide away from society and they stay in their rooms. They never come out in Japan. Is that there's a whole like weird.
I've heard about that. Like they stay reclusive and then
That's me, folks.
Yeah, well, they're alone. They're alone. They're unmarried, and like they get they never leave the house.
Yeah,
Like they don't
Just
work.
like
They just the family takes care of them. Family pays the rent and everything,
yeah.
and then they die. They just a lot of times these people are alone and they just die and that's it. They get taken away by the state and yeah.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry. What a dark start to the stream.
I saw something on I don't know what it was, but hey guys, I want to say hello to the people in the chat first of all. So we have a wild Nosferatu who is he's very disappointed in me that I have been doing a lot of Wheel of Time stuff with the boys, with Prophet, with Alex and Salty and Nathan. So yeah, I'm here to provide support. So because Steve was willing, Steve did the card stuff with me. I am there for moral support too. So
I love that clip as well, Napoleon. What is happening? What is happening?
that was from a video that Steve did about. So apparently, the beginning of the book, The Great Hunt. You've read it.
Yes.
There's a point where all the Dark Friends get together. They wear masks. Think of Eyes Wide Shut, but instead of having the leader of the cult, you have this evil warlock that's floating there and forcing you to kneel and threatening you and everything. So in this one, they have a child. And in the show, they have a child there, and they're in this small little building. And the video is called Dark Friend Daycare. Because why would you have a kid at a thing like that where there's dangerous people and man-eating creatures, Trollocs? So,
and they tell this little girl that these horrible creatures, which feast on human flesh, maybe they're being misunderstood. Maybe they're just hungry.
Yeah.
It was so dodgy, wasn't it?
Yeah, he should run for mayor of Chicago because that's what the mayor of Chicago said about some things that happened. So sorry.
No.
I mean, to get this political, but shit.
Nosferatu didn't know how dark Wheel of Time actually is. How how it references Eyes Wide Shut. There you go. That's for Nosferatu.
That's not what That's not what he means by dark. What he means by dark is the fucking picture. You don't see a goddamn thing because the CGI is shit. And and when they showed a fight in the last episode, it was cut. You couldn't see what was going on. This 110-pound actress was just flipping these big dudes like they were nothing, like full 360s in the air. Either she's that good or these stuntmen are very accommodating. I wonder which one it is.
I wonder.
So, so yeah, man. So, Gray, I know you've been doing a lot of comic videos. What have you been reading? I caught your Daredevil one one morning. You upload all your videos 6 a.m. my time. So by the time I'm up and awake and I'm about to go to work, I get a great video because you're one of the few channels I actually have the bell on for. So.
Okay, no way. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's just a coincidence because it's about 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. my time. I get it uploaded just after after work and after I finish it. What did you think? They've rebooted Daredevil yet again with a new writer now. It's like the third reboot in 3 years.
So like when they reboot it, so like that means they start over from scratch or something?
Usually, but this time they've actually continued the previous story, which is good. Makes a change. They've continued it.
So they can, so sometimes with the new run, sometimes they continue the story just with a fresh new, author.
Yeah, it's rarer though, isn't it? Usually they'll like you say, they'll bring on a new writer, new artist, and they'll give their take. But oh my God, you've got something special in your hands there.
So it seemed like I was looking at this. It seems like this was a continuation of an earlier issue too. So I'm assuming that Frank Miller took over from I forget who did this Daredevil prior. So, but it seems like a continuation, just obviously with a new person. But hey, it's color. It's
right cool here, so. And great art by Klaus Janson. When I was younger, when I was like a teenager, I wasn't quite sold on his art style, but as I've got older, I've got into it. It's really, really cool.
You know what? I don't know what it is, but like I'm looking at this and I was thinking, because one of my favorite Netflix shows ever is Daredevil, and
Season 1, amazing.
Why is it? I mean, is it because of Batman and Robin that they stopped going for the comic book look of in movies and everything, and they started going for the gritty because of the success of Christopher Nolan's stuff?
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it? What, you didn't like Batman and Robin with Arnie as Mr. Freeze?
Oh no! When I was a kid, I loved that. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved that movie.
It's so campy, isn't it? It's hilarious.
It's. I tried watching it like 6 months ago. Couldn't get through it. I mean, I love all the cheesy Arnold lines. Who doesn't love Arnold? But like the rest of the movie is just.
It's kind of so bad it's good, but it's actually not. It's bad, isn't it?
No,
yeah.
No, but is that? But do you think that's why they stopped with the comic booky look?
I think so. Yeah, Chris Nolan, being a serious director, he wanted to give a serious take. I think with his trilogy. So.
Yeah. So, oh, by the way, before we go any further, I just want to let you know I am going to be giving 2 things away for members. So consider hitting the join button to become a member of the Nerdporeal Continuum, and you could participate in the giveaway. So I'll show you what I'm going to be giving away. So because of Ahsoka season, I have a couple of comics here that are actually in really good position, or not position, really good condition. Sorry. I said position. Very good condition.
Brain. Yeah, yes. It's not only me who gets stream brain.
So this is the This is a 2-volume Star Wars Kanan series that takes place. This takes place prior to Star Wars Rebels. So I've had this for a long time. It's actually this is a pretty solid comic, probably better than anything that Disney has put out, even though this is Disney era comics. So this is one thing pretty good. And the other comic, and I probably should have did this last week. See, where is it? Right here. Where is it? Right here. Another comic. This is all because Gray is a comic guy, then I'm giving away comics today. So this is another one. This is called Star Trek Countdown. Another great one, better than the J.J. Abrams movie, in my opinion. This is a prequel to the J.J. Abrams movie. And so this is, you got Spock, you got Picard, Captain Data, and everybody. So this is the other one that I am going to be. So there's going to be two different roll calls for this. So one for this and one for this. So the first one will be for the Star Wars. Sorry, upside down. And the second one, last one, will be for the Star Trek one. So there you go. So, all right, but yeah. So I can't wait to let's talk. So obviously, I loved your Daredevil video, and I know you covered Batman and Robin. So is it like the movie Batman and Robin, or is it Dick Grayson Robin? Is it Jason Todd Robin? Who what is this new Batman and Robin 2023 one about? I wasn't able to listen to your video.
Do you know Damian Wayne? He's actually Bruce Wayne's son by Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter. There's a
Yeah.
crazy old story from the 70s where basically she kind of seduces Batman. I think she drugs him and she, has her way with him, as they say. And so this story is paid off later on by Grant Morrison in his really seminal Batman run, where you've got Bruce Wayne's son, who comes up and he turns out he's a little assassin. He's been raised as in the League of Assassins. He's a total nightmare, Chillporeal. A lot of people, a lot of fans really don't like him, but I like him because he's not a good guy. He's not a nice, good Robin. He's a bit weird, a bit sleazy.
This is you're saying this is Damian.
Yeah, so
Damian
Damian with the new one, the new series is Batman and Robin. It's Damian Wayne and Bruce Wayne trying to kind of get their relationship going. But as Batman and Robin, they're really good. They're great,
Okay.
as crime fighters. But as father and son, that's the pull. That's the
kind of like so uneasy relationship, kind of like Spock and Sarek, or is it more?
Oh yeah, nice reference. What is it? 11 minutes in, and we got our second Star Trek reference. I've got to say,
Yeah, well, I mean, some people call me a Star Trek channel. Some people call me a Wheel of Time channel. I'm just a channel of myself. That whatever I like, I talk about. So, but a certain Wakizashi says, "Hail to this wonderful chat."
Shout out to the chat.
Shout out to the chat. Okay, of course, Lady B is here. We got Mr. William Richards, an angry Canadian. I don't know what he's talking about. Something in front of his classmates. Hey, angry Canadian, behave yourself. Don't do things in front of your classmates.
Keep that to the private chat, angry. Okay, yeah. Just saying.
We got Gordon Fiala. What's up, Gordon Fiala? How you doing? And Gadfly. I think Gadfly is here. Salty's here. Dempsey's here. And Staplebow's here. Nice. And wow, this chat just keeps going. And we got Zax too. Wheel of Track. I don't know what that is. Zax, how you doing? So what we got? So have you? So you haven't have you been watching Wheel of Time at all? The series.
I watched the first 3 of season 2, because I'd seen you guys had covered it. I wanted to see your reaction video, so to enjoy that to its maximum, I watched the first 3 episodes. After that, I didn't go back. I'll just say that.
Yeah, so you had the Great Hunt. So that book that season was supposed to cover the Great Hunt, and it didn't cover.
I can't recognize
any of the Great Hunt.
Anything.
There was one scene that was supposed to be extremely impactful. It was the end of the chapter. It was the one where you find a certain fade nailed to a door and everything in this town. It didn't. They see in the book we know the capability of a certain Pat Vane, and let's just say in the show we don't really know what this version of the character's capability is, because we don't know anything. So it seems like this new show assumes that all their viewers are book fans, and that the book fans will piece together the story details that they themselves fail to incorporate in their shows. And I've been noticing this quite a bit with modern shows, like especially with Star Wars fans, Star Trek fans. Fans really want to be positive. Most fans, I mean, not a lot of fans want to be positive about this. So they will, even though it's not up to them to piece it together, they piece it together for the writers and still say it's a good episode. That's the issue I have. I don't know if you've noticed that. I don't know if any of you guys in the chat have noticed when some people are positive about things that they shouldn't really be positive about. They should be a little bit more critical, way more critical.
I haven't seen any of the positive reactions or reviews at all. I've actually not seen much coverage of it, apart from people saying, oh my God, it is as bad as we thought, or maybe it's even worse than we were fearing. So
yeah, there's certain channels out there, your usual suspects. And what's funny is all those channels, when they, talk about disenfranchised fans of the Wheel of Time, that they call them book cloaks, which is, which is a nod to our friends, the White Cloaks. And
the White Cloaks.
So, yeah. So calling book cloaks, this and that, you know what they always call people, the 5-letter word that starts with an I and ends with cell, and what's the other one?
How original. Wow.
Yeah. Troll is one. And like I was just looking at Twitter, and it's like there's I think it was Pips that actually tweeted this out. Dragon Mount, which is where Robert Jordan, when he was alive, used to, he used to share a blog on that website. Well, they're the most staunch supporters of this show,
Really?
and they go
No way.
and they go after, and they complain about book cloaks and everything. So, and I was reading that, it just like, and Pips left like a meme or something, and it just broke my heart. It was like, if you shake the hand of it's from, I think, Ocean's 11. If you shake the hand of Sinatra, you should know better, or something like that. So, yeah. So it was just I was just thinking about that the last hour or so. It's pretty heartbreaking. But hey,
I haven't, as I say, I haven't watched episodes 4 or 5. Is that right? It's up to 5 now, isn't it? So, what were your thoughts? What are your thoughts briefly on those? Did they get any better than the first 3?
Episode 4 was probably the worst of them all. And then episode 5, they tried to make it better by having action sequences and having attempting at a chase and attempting at tension and everything. So there's a chase where one of the Forsaken go after Rand and Moraine, or Moron, as our friends call her.
Oh, wait a minute! It's Rand's in the series, is it? Oh, okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, or something, or maybe not Rand himself, but maybe just a version that's pushed to the side because he's not important. But I'll just say this: Moron got somebody killed in this latest episode, just like in the first season. And what's funny is the villain that was chasing them, Lanfear, she says, "Oh, I think this Moraine is more. I don't know who's more wicked, me or Moraine." Well, she didn't say that, because, well, she probably did, but she commented like, "Oh, she's probably more dangerous. She's probably just as deadly as me and everything." I was like,
just seen Salty's comment. Just, oh my god, what an image to put in my head, Salty. How could you? But I know what you mean.
Yep, absolutely. So there you go. So, but yeah, so you still haven't finished The Dragon Reborn yet, huh?
No, I'm near the end. I've just got to say that I've loved the development of Matt in Dragon Reborn. He's come across as a really, he's probably my favourite character at the moment. And the guy who's, no offence to the actor, and the one before, the one before was pretty good, but he's playing a role which is not Matt from the book. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? But yeah,
now he's
what
playing.
They've done to him. Is he crying? He's crying, isn't he? Every episode.
He was crying, and he was digging. He was digging. So he's in a cell. He's in a cell somewhere in the White Tower, and he starts digging the one of the stones out of the wall. And the first thing I thought, and Steve got this too, Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption. So he's basically Andy Dufresne. And
he didn't have the poster though, did he, of Rita Hayworth to hide the hole?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was nothing like that. He just digs, finds himself in another cell, meets the girl. Who does he find on the other
side? It's like
Min, that plays Min in this show. Yeah. Min's the one that sees people with she sees the aura around people that tells their future and all that. She doesn't understand it. The Aes Sedai don't understand it, and sometimes she knows when people are going to die. And so she's basically a walking, talking device for foreshadowing, and Robert Jordan. So, so he's just crying, and he's struggling to win at dice or something. I forget what it was. But his arc in the book, his arc in The Dragon Reborn was the best arc, especially at the end. But I'll say this: the final fight in The Dragon Reborn, you haven't gotten that far yet?
No,
I was thinking The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
I was thinking Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. So I was thinking. So when I was reading the moment where he confronts a certain character, and they have a duel, they have a sword duel, a magic sword duel. I was thinking, the power's with you, young Rand al'Thor, but you are not the dragon yet. So that's what I was thinking when I got to that part of the book. It's pretty cool. That let's just say that duel is pretty cool and everything.
Oh, nice.
And then let's just say it gets interrupted, and then something else happens, and I won't say what it is, but let's just say he fulfills a prophecy, and at the end of the book, I'm sure you can guess what it is, since that's what the whole book is pointing out to.
We have a serious question from Nosferatu a little bit earlier on. He's saying, which is worse, Wheel of Time or Rings of Power? Now, that is a tricky question.
Oh, well, for me, it's the Wheel of Time by far.
Okay.
So the Rings of Power doesn't have, the Rings of Power does disregard what Tolkien wrote. But the thing is, they didn't have the rights to the Silmarillion. They only had the rights to the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. So whatever background was brought up, whatever was in the appendices is what they could use. But they didn't have a whole lot to work with, so they made shit up. Still bad. Okay. Wheel of Time has 14 books, and these are not thin books. These are thick books. And you could adapt The Eye of the World. You could adapt The Great Hunt. They just choose not to, and they replace it with something that's inferior. When you replace something that's inferior, that is beyond excuse. Even if you complain and say that they can only do 8 episodes, which is a dumb trend now. I remember shows used to have 10 episodes, 12 episodes. What's with this 8 episode thing now? Because of Stranger Things and Netflix, seriously. Even Game of Thrones had 10 episodes with less budget. And they still were able to pull it off. The reason why Game of Thrones is a global phenomenon is because it adapted its book. If it didn't adapt its book, and I've had to tell people, bigger channels this, imagine if Lord of the Rings cut out the Bridge of Khazad-dûm. Imagine if Lord of the Rings cut out Rivendell, or cut out them on the river, or them being hunted by the Nazgul. Or the Battle of Helm's Deep. Imagine if they cut all those really, important parts out. The problem is, Lord of the Rings is small compared to Wheel of Time. So Wheel of Time had there's a lot more going on in Wheel of Time, but it didn't adapt it well at all. And they could have pulled it off. So, but yeah, so that's why I think Wheel of Time is probably the worst show I've ever seen. This includes Picard season 1 and Discovery.
Season 1. Ooh.
Yeah.
Season 2. That's why I stopped watching it. As I say, I tried the first 3 episodes. I gave it a fair chance, but I was like, no, I'm not going to waste any more of my time with this. Instead, I have been enjoying and slowly watching, not binging, slowly watching Netflix's One Piece, which breaks the trend of crappy anime adaptations. It's actually good. It's got a lot of heart. It's sincere. It's goofy, yeah. It's completely bonkers, but you feel like the people who have made it and the actors, they all believe in what they're doing. It's so strange. It's so refreshing. Yeah. But, I'm Mr. Positivity, so, hey, what do I know?
Yeah, Gadfly does bring up a good point. Intentional destruction of beloved characters. Yeah, especially Galadriel. Once again, they made shit up about her. Like, she was never a warrior in the first place.
So bad.
So, but yeah, Sauron is someone else, and you have these other characters, and I don't know. They managed to make Lord of the Rings boring. So, but yeah, so did your thoughts change on Picard season 3? Al, did it grow on you? Did me and Steve ruin your experience, or did
no?
I'll just blame Steve.
All.
Did Steve ruin your experience?
Let's blame it on Prophet. Steve, it's all your fault. No, I'm joking. I don't know. No one ruined it for me because I didn't think it was very good, and I couldn't understand why so many of the bigger channels were saying, wow, this is amazing. It's gone back to the source. It's gone back to the next generation. They've given people what they wanted in Chillporeal. They've given the send off to all the characters. But I was just like, it's okay, but I don't know. I can't see all the the adulation for it.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody was bought on the it undid parts of Generations. It undid the what was it, the destruction of the Enterprise. I think that was the big one. And I'm thinking about it, and I was listening to an old Red Letter Media video about them complaining about the Enterprise E. And it seems like Terry Matalas listened to a whole bunch of Red Letter Media videos and kind of did that.
Okay.
And kind of and listened to what they said, and that's where Picard season 3 kind of started. So I think I don't know. That's a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy theory. I know they like season 3. A lot of people like season 3. I just can't say that when you rewatch it, knowing the mysteries, if the plot falls apart, the first scene when you find out that those are shapeshifters, the same shapeshifters that are the founders of the Dominion. When you find out that they're the ones that are shooting at Beverly and trying to kill her, why are they using phasers? They don't need to use phasers. They have the capability to turn to mush, travel on the floor, materialize behind her, and then just kill her like the T-1000. They did that. They did shit like that in Deep Space Nine. They were tough to kill. They were tough to catch. And if one was, usually they were able to ambush you really easily. Like Cisco was ambushed several times, but the shapeshifters didn't intend to kill him. That's why he lived. So, but yeah. So like if you were sitting, like there was an episode where you were sitting where Cisco was sitting next to a shapeshifter at Starfleet Academy, and the shapeshifter is like pretends to be O'Brien, and he's acting a little weird. He sits down. He's like, "Don't move. If you do anything, I might kill you," because like their arm can turn into a tentacle or could turn into a spike, and they could kill really quickly. So, but that's kind of the reason. But then again, you have to know Deep Space Nine. You have to understand that to appreciate that. So I don't know if people just don't care, or hey, there's pew pew and there's action. Hey.
So you went back and rewatched it, did you? Since we were doing the coverage, or
Nope.
not?
Nope.
So just that first time, yeah. Okay.
I had to rewatch it for the purpose of the panel. So I've watched
the reviews.
Yeah, so I would watch it with Steve, and I would watch it again if I would watch. I usually, if there's an episode I really like, I will rewatch it. Like Better Call Saul, I would rewatch the episode at least once or twice before the next episode. And that was every season. Same with Orville. Actually, did not. Actually did not do that with the Orville at all. So Orville's not my favorite show, but it's way better than all the new Trek stuff by far. So, but Game of Thrones, season 5 and season 6, used to rewatch episodes all the time. Season 4, season 5, season 6, when I was watching it as it came out.
Yeah.
Hard Home, I rewatch the season 5 episode where the Night King does this and all that. Lifts his hands. I watched that 3 times that night, that Sunday night. Wow. that it aired. So, and like it just got me so excited for the end game. And then we see the end game, and I'm just like, or the long night, season 8 episode. I'm just like, but compared to what's out today, this year, season 8 I would consider season 8 good compared to what especially the Wheel of Time season 2 and Rings of Power. Like it just seems like they're getting worse and worse and worse every year.
Have we fallen so far? So far.
Like I was delightfully entertained watching that long night episode a few days last week, because I was looking for clips. So
okay.
Yeah, that's just what tells you so. So, you have anything you want to share? You want to share your comics and everything they got? Do you have any comics on hand you want to show?
Not on hand, no. Just shouting out to more indie publishers, Chillporeal, like Image Comics. Mark Miller, as you know, he's been doing some great work recently. I think that's some of the most exciting comics coming out are from independent publishers, which is great. But DC and Marvel, I don't know what's going on there. I think a lot of it is internal, a lot of problems. So, yeah, quality's just gone down, is going down.
Yeah. I don't know. Seems like people are leaving. Hey, you have a chance to win stuff. Stick around and consider joining the Continuum. But yeah,
what have you got to give away? That's the question.
Well, I'll say it again.
Do it now.
I got the Star Trek Countdown comic right here.
I like that cover, by the way. Nice
and
cover.
I got Star Wars Kanan. So there you go. So this is the art looks really good here. Let's take a look here. This is when he was known as Caleb Doom. I think that's his name, Caleb Doom. And I think this covers the clone. This covers the Order 66 in the Clone Wars, I think.
Oh wow!
So yeah, these are the 3 things. So I'm gonna put together a thing at the end. So we got about an hour left. So There's what else do I got? So let's see. So I have A Link to the Past. I have Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past comic by Shotaro Ishinomori. If you don't know who Shotaro Ishinomori is, he is the creator of Kamen Rider and Cyborg 009. So he's big back in the 60s and 70s. So basically, main character is usually a robot, a person that gets kidnapped, turns into a robot or an android or whatever, and they fight the evil organization that turned them into the android or robot in the first place. So, but he did a adaptation of the Super Nintendo game A Link to the Past. So I read a chapter. They had a chapter in one of the video game magazines I read as a kid. So this is kind of what the art looks like here.
How's the art? Let's have a look. Oh,
so that's
cute, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Link, and that's the sage Sahasrahla. And Sahasrahla in the game basically gives you, your quest. Like, where do you go? Where do you go? What dungeons do you go to? What pendants do you need to get? How do you get the Master Sword and everything? So, yeah. So here's another one. That's one of the main villains right there. That's the wizard Aghanim, who spoiler alert is a version of Ganon. He is a walking version of Ganon in the normal world, I think. Alter ego is what they call him in the game. So, but yeah, so I saw this. I was like, you know what? I gotta buy this. Finally came out. I never read the whole thing. I only read one chapter, and that was the chapter where they first go to the Dark World. So I actually saw that first before I actually played the part in the game. So Link to the Past. So I got that.
I've got something to show, actually. I just need to go and grab it, Nerdporial. But before I do that, just shout out to Salty. I think he's gifted a Nerdporial membership.
Oh, thank you.
Back.
Thank you, Salty. So who we got here? So Dempsey, the Drunken Poet, just became a sponsor again. So you know what? I don't know about you guys, but I hear a transmission. Do you guys hear a transmission? I hear a transmission.
What are we doing? Like, what is happening?
Oh wait, sorry, the wrong transmission. Wrong guy. Here's one right here. Perfect. Beverly Hills Cop review retrospective will come soon from a Nerdporial near you. I got to do my 2001 first. So.
God, I love that movie. It's so good.
Which one?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, Beverly Hills Cop. Oh yeah.
God,
yeah.
It's so good, man.
They're not just any cops. They're super cops. Is that what really happened, Taggart? No, sir. And then Foley's just like, I don't know what to tell you guys. The lie was working. You fucked up a perfectly good lie.
The writing's so good, the performances, it's funny. It just cheers you up, doesn't it? If you're feeling a bit down, put that movie on. It's so good, man. And it doesn't hold back with the violence, does it, Nerdporial? You see, like, it looks like he was getting beaten up there. That's cool.
The violence, and then of course a lot of it couldn't be made today. And the fact is that the fact that they're making a Beverly Hills Cop 4 on Netflix, especially I am not joking. It's supposed to come out in 2024. And with this climate, I don't think it's going to be good, because one thing about Beverly Hills Cop that they make fun of quite a bit, or Eddie Murphy makes fun of quite a bit. He's going to Beverly Hills, California. He's going to California. Let's just put that there. So, like, banana in the tailpipe. I wonder what that could be referenced. I wonder what that's an allegory for. Don't answer that. So. But it was like stuff like that, and him pretending to be a lover of the villain by saying, "Oh, he better." I think I have herpes simplex 10. Here, tell him. He's like, the guy at the club's like, "No, I think you better go tell him." So, like that's how he got in. That's how he got into the club, because they wouldn't let him in. So, but yeah, that movie is brilliant. What's funny is it was mostly ad-libbed.
Oh sure, yeah. He was on fire back then, wasn't he? At that age, Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah, he was only 22 or 22, Crazy. 23 when they filmed Beverly Hills Cop. Came out in 84. So yeah. So it was my first R-rated movie. So that's always going to be special for me.
Cool.
That and the soundtrack. Like the reason why I like 80s music or synth pop in general is because of that movie. If I wasn't exposed to that movie as a baby, as a baby, a toddler, I probably wouldn't like 80s music. But hey,
who was it? Harold Faltermeyer, Axel F, the soundtrack. That was massive, even in the UK. I remember it, it was at top of the charts almost.
Yeah, Harold Faltermeyer. Yeah, you did that. You did Top Gun, obviously.
So good.
And you got the music. You have "The Heat Is On" by Glenn Fry of the Eagles. You have freaking "Stir It Up" by Patti LaBelle. You have freaking you had
wow, what a soundtrack.
And the one that got me excited as a baby was "Neutron Dance" by the Pointer Sisters. Ooh. And what's funny was the director was just listening to the radio one day. He heard that song. He's like, shit, I'm gonna use this for my chase in the beginning of the movie.
Really?
Yeah. So Neutron Dance, another one, and then you had Vanity with the. What's funny is the one song that wasn't on the soundtrack was the Vanity song that they played at the strip bar in that movie. That was not in the soundtrack. I don't know why. The soundtrack did not include the score though. There's soundtrack and their score. So the soundtrack was the collected songs that were in the movie. A lot of the songs in the soundtrack were not even in the movie. And then the song that was in the movie wasn't in the soundtrack. So it's weird.
Crazy.
And it wasn't until recently La La Land Records, who I adore because they released the score of the entire score of the original Star Trek. They've been releasing the scores of movies that have never, had them ever released. So they released the entire score, all the score of Beverly Hills Cop. So like do or da 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 boo do da 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 da. Yeah. So they
so good.
Yeah. Now the question is, I'm wondering if I could use the score, if I can get away with using the score for the future retrospective. Movie stuff is tricky. Video game stuff I don't have a problem with most of the time. Video game, like if I try to make a video game retrospective and I use the video game score, it's never
you don't get hit or claimed.
I don't get hit. Movie stuff, sometimes I get hit, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
The like Vera Cereblend, the record company that does scores and soundtracks for movies, their bots are out and about quite a bit. So I have to, whenever I get hit by a claim, I have to go back to my video and I have to either lower the gain so that it doesn't hear it as much, or I have to cut it in a way that it mixes. I have to cut in a way that it mixes with others and it confuses the bot. And it's worked. There's times where it's worked. So we got Aldan here, Stu. What's up, Aldan?
Hail, looking good. Oh, thanks, mate. Good to see you. Yeah, we got some interesting comments about people's first R-rated movies as well, Chillporeal. Robert Moore was saying Evil Dead was his first. I remember seeing that on a pirate copy of VHS at some friend's house during lunch break at school. We used to go every day to watch 10 or 15 minutes of it. It was crappy quality, but we were so excited because this was banned in the UK. It was a banned video. You couldn't see it anywhere.
Oh yeah. Evil. I didn't hear, honestly, I didn't hear the Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness until I met my friend Marty, who's been on my stream. I did one with him a few weeks ago. When I met him, he was the one that actually told me about those movies. I'd never heard of those movies. I never saw those. I didn't see any of the Dead movies. The Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead.
No.
A lot of the older movies that I saw growing up were movies that my dad owned on VHS. So reason why I saw original Halloween back then was because my dad actually had a VHS, a 1978 VHS of the original movie. Same with Dirty Harry. Same with the 1976 Brian De Palma Carrie. The Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie. Definitely check out Carrie, the original Carrie. I mean, they made a TV movie version of Carrie in 2000. It was supposed to be a pilot for a show, I guess, where Carrie goes around and becomes a superhero or something. I don't know. That didn't take off. And then they made a remake with Chloe Grace Moritz.
Yeah.
And she was only
Yeah.
15 or 16 when she was in there. I was like, shit.
Wow.
Because in the original movie, Sissy Spacek was in her late 20s. Like they were all the actors in the. What's funny is in the original Carrie, all the actors in that movie were all adults. They were all like in their late 20s. And I don't know if you know this. If you know this, like they were casting for that movie at the same time George Lucas was casting for Star Wars. So they would swap out people. So you had William Katt, who played the boyfriend or the prom king in and that, what was his name?
Yeah.
I forget the character's name, but he was auditioning for Luke Skywalker as well.
He was, yeah. I remember reading that. Yeah, yeah.
And I forget what's her name? Some people from I think I don't know who else from the movie. I don't know if John Travolta. I don't know if I wonder if John Travolta auditioned. He probably auditioned for Han Solo. Can you imagine? Can you imagine John Travolta playing Han Solo? Hey, Luke, what are you doing? I don't know.
No, I
But,
can't imagine anyone else in those roles. Can you? Now looking back, absolute classic.
The in the Empire Dreams documentary of the Star Wars Star Wars OT DVDs, they showed Kurt Russell. It seemed like Kurt Russell was close to getting to landing the role
He
of
was auditioning,
Han Solo.
yeah.
And I can imagine. Kurt Russell's a great actor.
Yeah, actually.
I think he's a better actor than Harrison Ford. I think he could have pulled off a convincing Han Solo. It wouldn't have been quite the same Han Solo. I think he could have pulled off a decent Han Solo.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know if he's as nearly as sarcastic or as as Harrison Ford. I can't. I'm trying to compare the two, but yeah. So you had that. So I'm kind of going all over the place with this conversation. So
that's a chill stream, no problem. That's what they're all about, isn't it?
Yeah,
like reacting to the comments in the chat as well. So that's cool.
And Nas is asking me about Rebirth trailer. I haven't watched it yet, dude. So I'll get to it soon. I have to replay the game. I haven't played a lot of games myself lately. So
no, I haven't seen it.
Saturday Night Fever was not a happy movie. Like
no, it wasn't.
It was the movie was a bit of a downer. I mean,
it's pretty dark, isn't it? It's dark and depressing.
When you think of Saturday Night Fever, you think disco. You think what's funny is the nanny Fran Drescher was in the movie. that when she was in the movie, and it's just there's dance. You hear Disco Inferno, Staying Alive, very very iconic soundtrack. That's what you think of Saturday Night Fever. But the movie has a harsh ending, very harsh ending. Like you don't leave that movie feeling good. But why? Because it's the fucking 70s. 70s movies did not leave you always feeling good. A lot of the times the directors intentionally put dark shit in at the end. Usually main characters don't quite make it in a lot of movies in the 70s to get people talking about it. And like, I'll be honest, it worked. It worked for someone. It worked for a few movies. One movie I'd love to have a discussion with at some point, The Parallax View, 1974.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever seen that one? Have you ever seen that one?
I've seen it, but it's been a long time.
It's the one with Warren Beatty, and he witnesses an assassination, or he tries to get information about an assassination. And, well, he tries to talk to people because he's a journalist, and the people he tries to talk to start disappearing. Yeah.
An early conspiracy theory movie.
Yep. So this was this was coming off of the 60s, coming off of the assassinations of the two Kennedy brothers, Rob and Ron or Robert F. and John F. Kennedy, obviously President Kennedy, and Martin Luther King. And then you had the Wiregate thing. So at that point, nobody was trusting the government. Like, so full of conspiracies, like, is the government covering shit up like they've been doing and everything? So, I mean, and I'll just say this: like, it gets so crazy. Once you get to the end of the movie, you're just like, what's going to happen? Whoa. What's going to happen? Not gonna say. But there was one action sequence. I was like, fuck, shit. The stuntman who pulled that off. So an explosion happens. A moving vehicle is moving. I'm not gonna say what kind of vehicle it is, but an explosion happens. And I don't know if it was a stuntman, but the explosion threw the stuntman into the water. Okay, it was a boat. I don't know if that was a person, stuntman, or if that was a dummy. It might have been a dummy, but it didn't look like a dummy.
I can't remember the end. No
It
way.
it wasn't the end. This was like, I think this was like in the middle of the movie.
Okay.
But like this organization, this Parallax Corporation was ahead of everybody. Like in terms, they were like 2 steps ahead of everybody, including the main character. So it's insane. That movie's insane. I just bought the 4K. I bought the 4K Criterion collection. I think it's 4K. So yeah, that's a movie I definitely would love to talk about and actually do a retrospective on. Anything you've been watching? Have you been watching anything or anything that's been interesting you?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the 70s. I went back and watched the original Rocky again. Yet again, I love that film so much, and that's quite not as dark and depressing as Saturday Night Fever, but it is quite dark. People forget it's gritty, it's realistic, but you've got him in it. You know, his positivity, you know, his belief makes it optimistic.
I mean, the villain of the movie is, in my opinion, is not Apollo Creed. It's Paulie.
Oh God, yeah,
Paulie
he's a great villain,
and he's not a villain in 2. But he is the villain in the first one. He's abusive to.
He's terrible to Adrian. Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah, like it's crazy. It's crazy. But like the arc is like, and it was Stallone. Stallone wrote it. Apparently, there's one boxer. I forget his name, but this, I think some people, the boxer that said, "Hey, that's me." I forget the name of the boxer, but this one boxer from the 70s who fought Ali to a standstill. Kind of like what Rocky is kind of based off of. He's like, "Hey, that's me," and everything. And I don't think Stallone ever I don't know if Stallone ever got back to him or paid him or something, because that was basically his story. This one particular boxer that fought Ali once had the chance to fight Ali. So
okay,
yeah. And looks like I got a super chat from Mr. Lyle Hammock. Lyle Hammock for $5. How are you guys tonight? Just dropping in to say hello from Tampa before I turn in. Hail and a good one, and have a good one. Thank you, sir.
I hope you're good, Lyle.
$5, and I hope stay safe. Stay safe, sir. Stay safe. So, oh man. Oh, so you're watching One Piece?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. No problem. It's like I asked you if you're watching it, but you were talking about maybe you want to watch either the anime first or you want to read some of the manga first. I'm enjoying it. It's goofy, it's fun, it's bright, it's got a lot of heart, and it's sincere. They take it seriously.
That's that's a good thing then. So,
Yeah.
how many episodes are there?
I can't remember. I think there's 8. It's 8 or 10, and I'm up to 4. It's probably 8, isn't it? As you say, these days Netflix always seem to do the 8 deal.
Angry Canadian told me that it covers the first season of the anime.
Okay.
So, and I think it leaves out all the filler parts, and it just covers the entire that first arc or something. I don't know, but nobody has complained about it. Everybody has said it was good. I'll have to watch it and see for myself. I've only seen the first episode of One Piece, and it was okay. But the thing is, that show started in 1999. The show is still on now. They're at episode 1076.
It's insane, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah, and the manga, the source material, the manga is still ongoing.
Yeah.
There's a rumor. Somebody said there's a rumor. I think maybe it was Angry Canadian that the manga might end. The manga might start wrapping up within the next year or two. So, yeah. But like the shows that I don't think have ever ended, that I didn't think would ever end. Naruto's one of them. So Naruto started around the same time. And it's about a boy who wants to become a ninja, and he's got whiskers and all. He's got weird whiskers or lines on his face that look like whiskers. So it starts off with the show Naruto. Then it becomes Naruto Shippuden, where he's older. And so the first series is 200 episodes. Then this Naruto Shippuden is, I think, 700, 800. And they end that because the Naruto manga ends, the Naruto manga finally concludes. Well, it doesn't end there. Then they make another series called Boruto, which is about his son. And so it starts a whole new can of worms and everything. So there you go. So like that's never gonna end. That's just going to keep going on forever. My friends
That's it.
watched it. They loved the arcs that were important to the story, but it just became so filler. It got so filler focused that
Yeah,
my
it
friends
sounds like
stopped watching.
Nosferatu was watching it. He's just said that about the filler was brutal, but it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I've never
And
seen it. Oh,
NASA's Boruto is super word that there's not anything wrong with. So
super grey. Thanks, Nos.
yeah, gray. Yeah, super gray. There you go.
I tell you, no problem about One Piece. Yeah, again, I'm like you. I've only watched about 10 episodes of the anime. I've read the first few chapters of the manga, but I'm just enjoying it. I'm not saying it's amazing, but it feels like it's fun and it's well set up. Character arcs work. There's no Mary Sue's. It's just like wow, this is actually good. The world is well built.
Hmm.
It's daft. But it's funny. And the main character, he kind of wins you over because he's so positive. It's a bit like me in a way, but even more positive. He just wants to be the Pirate King.
It's
That's all he
interesting.
wants.
That's interesting. I'll have to keep watching because the first episode of the anime, the main character, what's his name, Monkey or something?
Yeah, Monkey D. Luffy.
Monkey D.
Luffy.
Luffy just kind of came off as crazy.
Yeah.
Like they're like everybody's afraid of him or something in the beginning. In the first episode, I was just like, I don't know if I'm I don't know if I don't know if I'm into this. So I'll have to give it another chance. It's really quick. It's a really quick judgment on my part. But then again, the problem I have with, and this is something that when I was younger, I didn't have this problem. There's too much shit available, and I just don't know
Yeah.
what to commit to. Like there's so many shows
I'm
out
the
there.
same.
There's so much anime out there. Like the problem I have right now with my Blu-ray shelf right there is I don't too goddamn much of it, and sometimes I just don't even know what to watch next. And then it gets to a point where I don't even make a decision. I don't even know what to watch, so I just turn on YouTube. I start listening. I watch YouTube videos. And I don't even watch the stuff. It's
I'm the
a
same.
crazy conundrum. So
YouTube's taken over. Yeah, most of my watch time is spent on that these days.
yeah, I haven't even been watching a whole lot of. I watch like videos about things I like educational stuff usually. That's what I've been mainly listening to nowadays. So
Oh, cool.
but yeah, so I'm gonna get the giveaway set up for the first one. So the first one I'm doing once again here, if you remember, you can sign up, and that's for these for the Star Wars Kanan both volumes, entire arc right here. So we'll start
Kanan,
with
the last Padawan.
yep. So StreamYard, so I'm gonna put that in. So have you been watching any new shows? I've been watching besides One Piece. I started watching Banshee. Have you ever seen Banshee?
I started that a while ago, and it's good, but I don't know why I just didn't continue.
Yeah, I'm 6 episodes in, and you know what's so refreshing about that show? Bad guys are bad guys. Bad guys do bad things to our heroes, and you get invested in our heroes because bad guys do bad things, and
Yeah.
then things resolve themselves in a satisfying way, and it's fun. It's
Remember
fun.
bad guys? I do. Yeah, I do. Villains, real villains that are evil, and you're supposed to hate them, aren't you? You're not supposed to feel sympathy for them, Chillporeal, these
Yeah,
days.
yeah, exactly. So
Why are you setting that up? I tell you what, I've gone back and started rewatching because I never finished it. The first season of Doom Patrol, which is based on a Grant Morrison run on the comic, and I tell you what, it is fantastic. It's one of the best opening episodes I think I've ever seen. But maybe that's because I'm a fan of the comic book, the characters. Brendan Fraser's in that. He kind of came back, I think, in that series. I think it's 2019, the first one, season one. So we're going back a few years, but I am loving watching that at the moment. And shout out to Zax. I think he used to talk about that as well. He said it was pretty good. Doom Patrol, check it out.
Doom Patrol. Okay, I've never.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard Doom Patrol. That's you said that's DC.
DC. It's a bit like a not Suicide Squad, but there are a bunch of misfits. The weird, weird superheroes, weird characters who work together, and it's got Timothy Dalton in it. Playing the kind of old guy in the wheelchair. He's great. Chillporeal, Timothy Dalton. Shout out to him.
Timothy Dalton. You know what? I think his Bond movies are underrated in my opinion.
I do, especially
Like,
the first one.
yeah, I haven't. I have to rewatch Living Daylights. That
Living
that
Daylights
was.
is good.
It's
It's good.
different. It's not like your typical action movie. It's more. It's how would you describe it? It's more. I think it's more espionage. I think. Do
Yeah,
you
and
think?
the second movie is more like almost like an episode of Miami Vice. If you've seen that, what's it called? License to Kill. I think the second one. It's like a
Yeah, because
yeah.
you had freaking Robert Davi was the villain, and
Yes,
he
yes,
plays a cartel,
yeah.
or he plays it like a drug lord or something. And you
Just
have
doesn't feel like a Bond movie, but it's still good. It's a good action movie.
well, it kind of does. I mean, Benicio del Toro plays one of the lackeys, plays Robert Davi's lackey, and he gets a pretty violent death. Like
Yeah.
he gets put into a grinder. Where is the StreamYard tool?
You lost. Zach's in the chat is saying, okay, Doom Patrol was very good. Glad to hear you enjoyed it, mate. So, yeah, there was a special offer on the season one, so I bought it last night. I was like, I'm going to buy it. It's like only 1,000 yen, which is nothing. So I started watching it last night. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to stop watching. I want to keep watching. So I got caught up in it.
Let's see where I can find I gotta find this. I don't know where this is. I was able to find it last night. StreamYard giveaway. It takes me to a how-to, but I want the actual tool.
Oh, two StreamYard. It's been weird with me lately. I'm fine, and if I try and share anything, certain things, I start roboting. Crazy.
Like it takes me to the help center. I don't want the help center. I want the giveaway. Where is it? Ah, shit.
Scheiße. We got Dempsey in the chat, Chillporeal, who's asking a question. Which is better? One-dimensional villains that are just evil, or devil may care after all, understandably sympathetic villains?
Well, I mean, the sympathetic villain has to be interesting. If they don't make it has to be earned. It has to be earned. It has to be built to. And the thing is, you have to have a one-dimensional villain that's going to kind of take over the role. So if one villain, redeems himself, usually it comes at a cost, and it's usually at the cost of another villain right there.
Yeah.
And they usually die, but they usually die trying to defend the hero, the good guy, and that's usually what redeems them. Kind of like Vader. So like Vader. Vader, if Vader was alone and he got redeemed, I mean, it might have worked, but he had the Emperor there. The Emperor was there to be the other villain.
Yeah.
And everything. So when Vader redeems himself by saving Luke, when Luke is being fried by the Emperor's blue lightning and everything. So that works. But you have to have a villain. You have to have a villain that's just irredeemable. And it's fun. I mean, having villains like that are fun.
That's it.
And it makes you root for the characters more. Like you get more, like it makes me more invested. And it brings up tension. It brings up the tension when you have a character that just when the moment they walk into the room, you're like, oh shit. And then you for me especially, you're laser focused on what's going on. And to me, that's a good thing.
Vader has a great character arc, doesn't he, through the trilogy, the original trilogy. It's fantastic. In the first movie, he's just pure evil. You can't stand him. He's, it's terrifying, which is great. But as you say, over time, you see this different side to him. He's like, his son's trying to win him back, trying to, bring him back to the good side, the light side of the Force. But you're not sure if he's going to make it or not. And it takes the Emperor, it takes the extra villain to make that work. And
you have the 80s. You have 80s villains. So I mean, I'll say Victor Maitland from Beverly Hills Cop, played by by Steven Berkoff. He's not a big dude, but dude, he's terrifying. Like there's points where he's very calm, very collected. Yes. And then he'll scream. He'll be like tell what's her name to shut up.
Very intense. Great presence.
And then when Eddie Murphy is doing his his little quips on him, it doesn't work on him. He's just like, you were saying something, So yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just like I was terrified when I was a kid. I was terrified of him. And then you have Jonathan Banks, who was also when he plays Victor Maitland's lackey. He was terrifying too, especially in the beginning of the movie when they off Eddie Murphy's friend, which kind of sets the stage for the rest of the movie.
He's great. Yeah,
he starts smacking poor Mikey Tandino around, and then he just tells him, like, Mikey's just like, please, I'll give it back. I'll give it back. Please let me go. And then, Jonathan Banks is just like, shut up, Mikey. And then he's just like, puts his arm around. He's like, I swear, I'll just show it right here. This is great villain stuff right here.
I swear, if you ever show your face out there again,
I won't.
ever,
I won't.
ever.
I won't. I promise you.
Oh.
And then it cuts to a far shot, and then he shoots him in the head.
Jeez, no messing.
Yeah. So it's like it's that type.
Oh, we have a frozen Chillporeal. Okay, I've been streaming for a while. I know
Deal.
what to do.
That really,
Time to stop.
like I said, yeah, got a little hiccup right there. So, but yeah, there was a manga. I don't know how versed are you in manga?
I was going to show you. Actually, I'm going to show you something, and don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it's PG-13. It's not rude. I picked this up, Chillporeal, recently from a recommendation on someone's book blog. It's how Miyazaki actually did the manga. I didn't even know. It's unbelievable. Yep. Absolutely gorgeous. Of course, it's all black and white because it's manga, but yeah, I'm slowly making my way through this. Just give you a brief look at the art. It's very detailed.
That is Hayao Miyazaki for you. Like
Miyazaki-san himself. I didn't know he did manga work. I had no idea.
Yes, not only did he do manga work, but he did what do you call it? This was prior. This movie. This was a lot of people consider this the very first Miyazaki very first Ghibli film. This was before Studio Ghibli was founded. So this is like one of his earliest. This is not his first movie. He did before this was The Castle of Cagliostro, a Lupin the Third film. That's a great movie.
That is great too.
If you like an adventure movie with some James Bond elements and some wacky Pink Panther elements, you got Lupin the Third, and that movie was basically him rescuing a princess from a large castle, like literally, and it was awesome.
Animation's great story, really funny, good characters.
So yeah, I think Gadfly says Nausicaa is his favorite film. My favorite is Castle in the Sky, Laputa, Castle in the Sky.
Oh,
yes, that's a really good one. So.
It's hard to pick a favorite. I'd probably go for I know it's a bit obvious, but Spirited Away.
Spirited Away was a weird one.
I just love the weirdness of it, because I'm pretty weird, as you know.
Like a little girl and her parents go to a fair, and they're in Japan, obviously, and all of a sudden, there's nobody there. There's nobody at this fair, but they find the parents find food. The parents find food under this tent, and they just start eating it. They're like, nobody's here. We'll just eat it. We'll just eat the food. And the little girl's just like, and then she just kind of walks away. And then she comes back, and her parents turn to pigs. And she's like, what the hell's going on here? And then she bumps into other wacky characters. And there's this one no mask, no face dude that's following her around. Yeah. And she meets all these weird yosa or demons or spirits or whatever they call them. Yosa. I forget what.
Yokai. The
Yokai. I thought it was Yoma. Maybe it was.
It could be. Yokai's more like the old mythological fairy tale creatures.
Yokai's also a video game made by Nintendo too.
It is, yeah.
But you have, so she ends up being put to work, and I forget what else happens.
This onsen, this like bathhouse, this great big spa, which serves all these crazy creatures. It's
that's
unbelievable.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. Now I remember seeing that we had to watch that for school. My senior year of high school, this was 2 years after the movie came out. The movie came out in 2001. Actually, I think it won an Oscar it was the first anime that won an Oscar for best foreign film.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's back when the Oscars were still, Oscars still meant something.
When they still meant something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I watched that in school, and that and meeting my friend Steven, who got me into Gundam, that kind of launched my interest in anime as an adult. Like I've seen some anime as a kid. I saw like the first season of Sailor Moon. I saw the first season of Digimon, and I saw a little bit of Dragon Ball Z that appeared randomly. A buddy of mine in high school had the entire Cell Saga, so I watched the Cell Saga, but I didn't watch the earlier sagas. And another buddy of mine I had the entire Frieza saga, so I watched the Frieza saga. I didn't watch the show in order until my friends got the DVDs, and then I finally watched the entire Dragon Ball Z in order. And then years after that, I finally watched the original Dragon Ball, the fan subtitles, the digital version, and everything. So, yes, I that franchise I watched completely out of order. So, but I did like Super. I did like Dragon Ball Super quite a bit. That's the newest one that came out. I don't know if you heard of that one.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. You had in the States, I think you had a lot of anime growing up on TV. We didn't have much in the UK. It was a bit weird, a bit limited. So I got into it late, but it was a movie. It was Akira that got me kind of interested in anime and more interested in the movies than actual series, because I didn't have access to them. But yeah, Akira, we've talked about that on my channel a while back, haven't we?
Yeah, didn't Wakizashi Gray talk about Akira with me and Brandon and Ronan66? I think we did. It was a lot of fun. It was a very, very fun. It was a very fun one. Tetsuo, help me, Kaneda, help me. That was his payoff. That was the payoff. That was his character. That was the end of his character arc, because throughout the entire movie, he's like, I don't need you, I don't need you, Kaneda. I don't need you at all. And then he becomes all powerful. He's like, I'm rescuing you now, Kaneda. And then they fight, and then he turns into a big baby and gets sucked into another dimension. He's like, help me.
Completely bonkers. Love it. Crazy. No chance to adapt that into like a 2-hour, whatever, 2.5-hour movie. No chance. Too much story.
It's insane when you have the author of the source material, the manga, is also directing the movie. So he probably had a different ending in mind for the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because the manga, the source material, did not end until a couple years after the movie came out. So I actually still have not read. I have the first volume of the manga, first volume out of 6. I have to read it because
I haven't read it.
Manga is different.
It was coming out in Teahouse when I was first got into buying comics, but I was like a teenager, just like doing a paper round to get money. I didn't have much money. Marvel were putting it out in English, but it was so expensive. I just couldn't afford it. I wish I'd bought some back then. Would have had some original issues. Well.
Yeah. So, all right. So I still gotta try and look for that.
So how about you? Well, I've got you here. Like, you're talking about watching, recent stuff. What are you watching that's good at the moment to kind of cleanse your palate from, Wheel of Time or whatever nonsense is that? You're not watching Ahsoka, are you? By the way,
I am watching Ahsoka. I forgot to bring up Ahsoka. Have you been watching Ahsoka?
I watched the first couple on pirate site, so I was like, nah, this is really boring. This is so slow. It looks okay. It looks fairly nice. But
it does look good. I think it does look good. I like
Ray Stevenson's awesome. Ray Stevenson's great.
Rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. By the way, that was like from the very first scene of the first episode when Ray Stevenson rescues what's her name from Mandalorian season 2. The Ahsoka episode.
That witch.
I was just like, why did you bring them on board? If you don't believe that they're Jedi, why did you bring them on board?
It's so stupid.
With the minimal security? Like, you should have found out that you're like, why are you here? And then they're so stupid. They're so stupid. And then they kill everybody. They kill the captain, and they rescue the woman with little to no struggle at all. Like, they're on a ship full of New Republic people.
I was getting flashbacks to Last Jedi, Rian Johnson, because it was so bad. It was like, it was almost played for comedy. The captain saying, "Oh, we'll be all right. Let's call their bluff. Let's bring them on." It's like, this is nonsense. Anyway.
Yeah. So I watched the latest episode, and guess who made an appearance? Anakin. And you know what? And he was the best part.
Did it work? Because I might watch it then if you reckon it's worth it.
I liked what I saw, but it didn't serve any purpose. So Ahsoka ends up in the world between worlds for I don't know the reasons.
Plot.
So it might never have happened. This whole thing might have taken place in her mind, like she's Shinji Ikari from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Who knows? She might have some issues. I don't know.
Nice.
But she encounters Anakin, And so we get to see clips of Hayden Christensen as Anakin in the Clone Wars outfit from
Okay.
so we get to see them like doing Clone Wars stuff, animated stuff. And Hayden is very like he's still the best. He's the best part of the season. Like he uses a lightsaber. He still has it. He still has it. Like other people that have wielded lightsabers on these shows have been terrible, including Ewan McGregor in Kenobi.
Oh God,
But
yeah.
Hayden handling the lightsaber in this series looked like the prequels, like Revenge of the Sith.
Wow.
And
Probably, I watch it just for him, just to see his scenes. I think I will do.
and
I'll watch it.
and there's another actress that plays the young Ahsoka from the Clone War during the Clone Wars, and she was actually really good with the saber suit. So whoever was directing those action sequences was really good. Did a really good job, because that was the only part of the episode 5 that I really liked. The rest of it it's boring.
Yeah.
It's like, and the people are saying it's the best episode. Like this last episode was the best ever, was because of what I said, because there was fan service and nostalgia bait, and people fall for it too easy. I mean, look at Picard season 3. No offense. I mean, I know a lot of people like Picard season 3, but still.
In the chat report, we've got PD York saying that Hayden killed it. They could totally do
Yes.
a single season of live action Clone Wars.
Yes.
Bring him back.
Yeah, PD York likes Picard season 3, so yeah. And so
Okay.
I'm gonna get him on. We'll talk about what we liked, and we'll talk about all this. So, but yeah.
Anything else that's caught your eye recently, or are you going back like me watching older stuff?
Well, I mean, I told you I'm watching Banshee right now. So that's
Banshee.
the guy from The Boys that plays Homelander. He's the star of Banshee. So Banshee is
Anthony
about
Starr. He's great.
Anthony
He's great
Starr.
in it.
So Anthony Starr, first scene of the series, first episode, he's got a presence to him. He's a toxic male. He is a toxic.
God, I hate that word
you,
so much.
You hear this punk rock music, or this rock music, this heavy rock music, the moment he walks out of jail, and then he goes to a bar. He starts plowing the bartender in the back room.
Oh yeah, I remember
steals
that
a car.
scene.
He steals a car, and then he gets it. He's like, I'm looking for this particular person, my girlfriend or my fiance or whoever she was before that. And then he gets it. Then the moment he leaves the place, he gets the information. He gets attacked by somebody. So people are after him. And that was a great action scene. And then he pretends to be a sheriff. So the entire show so far, he's pretending to be a sheriff. He takes another identity and he takes another identity, goes to this town and pretends to be a sheriff. And I'm curious where this is going to go, because I'm curious how that's all going to unravel on him. But like, the bad guys are bad guys.
Yeah, I remember. I might go back and start watching it again, because I watched at least the first 3 or 4 episodes, and it was good. Like I say, it's good action, it's sexy, it's fun, it's quite dark, and the villain is a villain. Yeah,
and there are many villains in each episode. Like there was one villain that was a boxer, and he nearly kills this woman because he's a famous boxer. They bring a woman so that he can plow and do stuff to, and he ends up being one of those violent types, and he nearly kills the woman, completely fucks her up.
It says there's 4 seasons, Nipur. I wasn't sure. 4 seasons of it, so okay.
Yes, I think it's 38 episodes, and this is a show that Steve has recommended to me. So, Steve, like, you're watching Banshee next, right? Because I just came off of watching The Wire.
I saw that in your opening clip. I saw you had a McNulty in the opening.
Yes.
The stream. I was like, oh my god! I just rewatched season 5.
Yeah.
Or was it 6? I watched the final season recently.
Season 5. So
yeah, so good. Bloody hell.
So I had me and Alex were talking, because Alex knows The Wire pretty well.
Okay.
And so reason why I watched The Wire is because from 3 different directions, from 3 different people, Alex, Prophet, and Pips, all 3 of them said, nerd watch The Wire. So I watched The Wire. The Wire was a tough one to get into. It was a very different show from
It
anything I've ever
is. The
seen.
first season is pretty, isn't it? It's quite slow. It's dark. It's like, whoa, it's gritty. I wasn't sure at first. It took me a bit to get into it.
It was gritty, but it was like I wasn't as interested. It wasn't until season 2 that I started getting a little bit more invested in, because we started having villains. I think what's his name is Idris Elba as Stringer Bell. I think he was a great villain, but I didn't really find him as he was an interesting villain, but he wasn't a terrifying villain. I mean, he tries to be intimidating, but I never found him terrifying. Now you have but on the other hand, you have Marlo Stanfield. He is a terrifying villain. He's a terrifying villain because he'll kill you. He will kill you, and he gets away with it. So the thing is, he kind of Marlo Stanfield reminds me of Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones. So for the longest time, Ramsay Bolton was the bad guy, and he never got one-upped until the very end. Marlo Stanfield doesn't get one-upped until, well, the very end of the season. But then again, unlike Ramsay, who doesn't make it out alive, spoiler alert, Marlo does. And not only make it out alive, but he's basically everything that Stringer wanted to be.
I wasn't sure about the actor. I know it was a good part, but he didn't convince me. But I know what you're saying. But yeah, his lackeys were really good. His lackeys.
I think the actor did a good job, because he was very he had a cat. He was like a cat, and so he had that predatory look. And the thing is, he was very. What also made him terrifying was the fact that he didn't say much. He only said he only said like maybe 2 or 3 words, and that was it. And like his goons were effective, like they were terrifying. He had two goons, two enforcers that went after people. They killed a lot of people in seasons 4 and 5.
They sure did. Yeah.
And it was because of something that McNulty does that gets Stan Marlowe off and everything. So, and it's crazy, because in that show, the bad guys get away. Like in season 2, you had the Greeks. The Greeks get away. Well, the ones that were in charge get away, and nothing ever happens to them.
Season 2 is where it really took off for me. It really, really pulled me in.
Especially with the docs and everything, and then
that story.
That story was pretty, like, it felt like, every season is its own thing, but the second season, I was like, who the fuck are these characters? Because I thought we were just continuing, season 1, with more Stringer Bell and Avon Barksdale's organization and everything. They ended up becoming the B plot in season 2, and then the docs and Sabatka and his crew and the Greeks became the A plot.
I want to go rewatch season 2 now. It's so good.
I got invested in what was going on. The show got more. When you see what the Greeks were capable of and how they handled leaks, it wasn't nice. It wasn't. It was like they literally, like, you see a dude getting slit ear to ear. That's how crazy it is. And let's just say like our Polish guys at the docks had to deal with the game, as they call it in The Wire, the hard way. So yes, it's just
great stuff.
Great, it's great, and it's hard. The end of season 2 was heartbreaking.
It is,
but season 4 was the one that I really couldn't put like there were points where I would stop watching during seasons 1. Season 2 was much better. Season 3 kind of went down again because of, I don't know, the Barksdale stuff was people are going to disagree with me on this, but I thought the Barksdale stuff was the least interesting part of the show.
Too.
I liked Stringer Bell. I think he's a good character. I just wish he was a little bit more bad. I mean, he was bad. He was bad, but he just came off as too normal.
I know what you mean.
I don't know. Maybe I just need to. I don't know. But then again, maybe I'm too much of a fiction guy because like this series is Wire is supposed to be more. The Wire is probably the most deeply rooted in reality.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Alex and Pips have both said that this is more of a documentary of the system of the system of Baltimore in particular. So
Season 5 with the newspaper story. I love that. I really enjoyed that.
yeah, the creator of the show, David Simon, worked for that newspaper.
Oh,
So,
right. Yeah.
and
That's
yeah,
right.
the guy that printed fake news got promoted. So people in that show were failing upwards. So like all the bad leaders and everything,
Mm.
the mayor played by Littlefinger, like he was like the reason why
Littlefinger.
Marlo Stanfield was killing so many people in seasons 4 and especially in season 5 was because he cut the budget of the police.
Yeah.
And they just didn't have the resources to take him down. And so McNulty pretends that there's a freaking serial killer on the loose.
That was crazy, wasn't it? Yeah. He just yeah.
But I think the education was the best part of season 4 with the kids and all that. And what ultimately happens to those kids was just like shit. This is a freaking cycle. Because some characters leave the scene. So Bubbles leaves the scene. Omar, best character in the show, he leaves the scene, which really upset me because he was my favorite character. He was everybody's
so good, wasn't he?
He's everybody's favorite character. And those like there's the one kid kind of took the Omar role, and one kid unfortunately because he was around druggies, he ended up becoming the Bubbles.
Yeah.
And and then there was another kid that was
tragic, mate. It's tragic.
Yeah. One kid became the nice sweet kid, the little shorty dude who was put into the home that this one dude wanted to I forget what the one that plays Father Gabriel from Walking Dead, that actor. Yeah. He wanted to adopt that one kid, and the city wouldn't let him. And he ended up going into this home. And he got beat up because he was a snitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we see him again in season 5, he's a totally different character. He is basically a thug.
What a cycle.
What was funny was the one kid that came out successful was the one that the police chief or the original or one of the major from season 3, and then he gets fired for allowing drugs to happen, for moving people to a particular corner. He ends up adopting this one kid. He's the son of Weebay, one of Avon's thugs, one of his enforcers. And with the father's permission, he actually adopts the kid, and the kid becomes he's out of that world. He's in a different world now, and he's the only one that kind of came out of it. So. And he was the one he was one of the troublemakers in season 4 too. He was he was starting fights in the classroom, and they put him into that. They took all the problem kids and they put them in a separate room, and they just kept them there, kept them away from the other kids so that the other kids could learn. It was so weird. So, but yeah, The Wire. Is it my favorite series? No, but I get why a lot of people think it's the best. It's very different from everything, but in terms of entertainment value, it's for me entertainment factor. It's not quite the page turner or episode turner, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Breaking Bad's better. But Breaking Bad's totally fiction. So, but yeah, totally different take on the police, in my opinion. So. All right, so it's been an hour and a half. I need to do the giveaway thing.
We've got a members chat from DJ Ronnie G, Chillporeal as well. Yes.
Shout out to all of you and my turtles. Well, thank you, DJ. Thank you for being a member, and definitely try to. I want to see if I can get the giveaway tool working.
Thank you for being a friend. Get Chillporeal started singing.
Oh.
DJ Ronnie G.
Do you know I did that, right? Because,
I know, I watched it. I loved it.
Oh, you did. So season 2. So Steve and his son were watching Wheel of Time season 2, And it's just there's elderly people sitting at tables, eating and talking. And his son was like, "What are we watching? The Golden Girls?" And Steve
Yeah,
brought
no
this up
music in
on
the background.
stream. Yeah, he brought this up on stream, and I was thinking, you know what? I love that. I love the opening to the Golden Girls. I love the song "Thank You for Being a Friend" by Andrew Gold. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make one. I'm gonna make one. And I found all the right clips for it. And so if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. It's on the channel.
Do check
Everything's
out
good.
Chillporeal's channel for the Golden Girls clip, Wheel of Time, Golden Girls version.
Like I like what I did was I actually edited it down to the T, down to the exact the cuts. So I did to like to the millisecond. I cut it to the millisecond to match it with the Golden Girls opening and everything. So
Did you get copyright?
I did not for the video, not for the video, but when
No way.
I played it for last week for Prophet's intro, and then I did get hit, which is strange.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to make it. I'm going to make the video. I did it. It was funny. I still, if I'm in a sour mood, I watch it and I still think it's funny. My choice, I don't know how, like my choice of clips is just like, sometimes I'm going to sound like Han Solo here, but sometimes I amaze even myself because I just put it together and I'm like, you know what, this could work. And then I watch it later. I'm like, shit. I actually had something going on there. So
And you love that song too, don't you? I know we've talked about it before. I think we've even sang it together once on a stream a while ago.
your
A long
heart
time
is
ago.
true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Oh, good.
Dun, dun, dun.
'Cause I used to watch it, probably, back in the day, like with my mum and dad. It was on the UK as well. I used to watch that.
Yeah, it was so like it came out in the 80s. So I was like, I think the first season was 85. I was an infant. So when I was like
85.
2 or 3 years old, and I'd be babysat by my grandmother. My grandmother, I would be at her house and she'd be watching. This would be Saturday nights. They had Golden Girls on every Saturday night throughout, I think, all 7 seasons that it was on. So, so the show. What's funny is the show ended right before my brother was born. So, so it was interesting. But yeah, there was my mom and my grandmother watched it. So it was that show was watched by like several generations of women and gay men. Gay men like that show too.
I think a lot of families watched that show together as well. It was like you say, it was a multi-generational thing with family back in the days of family television viewing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I watched a few episodes on Hulu about a couple years ago, and I'm just like, shit, I don't know how. Like, it's dirty. The show is dirty as shit. Like, it's still a sitcom, but like it's the show. The show gets.
It was the 80s, man. Come on.
It was. So. Oh, okay. Let me. I don't know. Let me see if I can get this. So there's one manga I wanted to show off really quickly. I might have told you about this one. Let me see if I can. I'm going to share my screen right here. Let's see. Not invite. Wrong button. Present. Okay. Share screen. Window. I don't know if you can see it clearly here. It's called MW. It's Tezuka right here. So it's called Mu. It's called Mu. It is a 70s manga. This is a single. It's only like 10 to 12 chapters. So this is a single volume.
Okay.
So this series is probably one of the darkest, and I don't know if you can tell right here, but there's a woman in the process of being the word that rhymes with grape or ape. So,
oh my goodness.
So this series is about a guy who is a serial killer. The guy's a serial killer, and he has a relationship with a priest. And so yeah, so if you didn't guess, yeah, the priest is gay. The serial killer is bi, so he he assaults women and everything. So the thing that's going, we don't know what is exactly going on with the serial killer guy. We think because of this MW stuff is a gas that was found on an island. So him and the priest meet on an island, and something, there's like a lab there, and an explosion goes off, and this gas gets released. It kills everyone except for the kid. The kid gets hit with it, but the kid doesn't die. But the result is the kid becomes a complete psychopath. Like the kid loses his ability to feel remorse, and he just starts doing shit. The beginning of, so I'll show you. There's another. Let's see. There's another picture. Yeah, right here. This is another one right here. So this is the serial killer dude. I forget his name. I think it's Michio or something. I don't know if you can see it.
Trying to find it. Okay, so it's Osamu Tezuka. Yeah, like you say, MW 1976 to 78. Oh,
Yeah,
I've never heard of it. I know the
I,
author.
I read about this on Wikipedia one day, like a few years ago. So this is not graphic. Like this is still 70s. Like you don't see it. It's not super duper graphic and everything. You might see a butt. You might see a girl's butt or a dude's butt or something, but that's pretty much it. You see, I'll share the screen. This is another screen right here. This is another artwork. So this is the another picture of the serial killer. This is another artistic one right here.
Okay, yeah, it's his style, isn't it? His style there.
The opening is like an action, like a 70s action movie. Like he kidnaps people and he demands ransoms and everything. So I have one more picture. It actually has frames, so hopefully I won't get in too much trouble for this. But here's a clip. Okay, I got it right here. Present, share screen, window. Here we go. Okay, so this dude is right here. That's him in disguise. So he's wearing a fake mustache, wearing sunglasses. This is the guy whose son he kidnapped, and he's demanding money. This is a client because the guy's a banker. He's an investing banker or something like that. And he knows this guy's full of money. So the guy brings him money. He's like, "Give me back my son." And they're on a boat. And look at this right here. I saw this. I was like, "Fuck." This is the beginning. This is the first chapter of this manga. He killed the kid. And then he kills the guy's like, you monster, I'll kill you. And then he kills the dude. He kills the father, runs him over, knocks him in the water, and runs him over with the boat and gets away. And that's the first chapter. And let's just say he continues to do bad shit throughout the entire story. And he is like, once again, he's kind of like, he's a lot like, got that little bit of that Ramsay Bolton feel. You want him to have a comeuppance and everything. But this is a thriller, so things might not happen the way you expect. So, but yeah, so that's Moo. That's Moo. I read this, and I couldn't put it down. It's but it's definitely not for everybody. If you're sensitive to stuff like that, this is it's fucked up. Figure I'd share that. So.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, sounds dark. I've just been looking on Wikipedia and it says there was a 2009 live action movie was based on it, was released. I'd never heard of it though.
Yeah, I don't, I'm curious. I'll have to see if I can find it. Like they never adapted this to an anime or anything.
No.
Like this is like, I don't know. I think they could do it. I don't know if they probably never will though. So, but yeah, so that's so an hour and a half. I know you got your stream to do. I'm trying to, I don't know where the giveaway tool is.
What's happened? StreamYard. I've never tried it, so I don't know how to do that at all.
So what I have to do is I have to go to so how to host a killer live giveaway with StreamYard. And it says increase viewership, obviously. Let's see if I can find it. Giveaway tool. Okay, found it. Okay, choose live stream. Got it. So hashtag, what should the hashtag be? Gray is awesome.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to put this on the screen now. Present. Window. There you go. Hashtag Gray is awesome. Type that into the chat, and you will become and you will enter. So we got Kanan manga. and we got Star Trek Countdown. So first one will be for Kanan. So if you type the link, if you type it in, you will definitely do that. Nas doesn't even type the right one.
I'm not using the hashtag on purpose. I'm just typing Grey's awesome. Thank you. Just because I felt like it.
So yeah, so hopefully people yeah. I'm just gonna type Grey's awesome anyways. There you go.
Hey, shout out to Zombie. Zombie Main's in the chat as well. Nice to see you, mate.
Zombie Main's not a member. You gotta become a member.
That's the trick.
So Mark Clark, Salty. Okay, we got some.
Come on, Nosferatu, what are you doing? You're a member too. He's just written hashtag Grey is gay. Thanks, Nos. Only for you. Only for you, baby.
Only for you.
Grey's Moraine.
Okay.
Boring.
All right. So let's I'm gonna click the draw now. Let's see who wins. Mark Clark wins the Kanan stuff. So congrats, Mark. I will DM you, and I will DM you, and we'll figure this out. So congratulations, sir. Congratulations. And one last one. All right. Well, let's do this now for Star Trek Countdown. So whoever already signed up, whoever's in, we'll do this now. So
I've heard that's supposed to be pretty good, Chillporeal. I haven't read it, but I've heard it's decent and it's good art.
Let's take a look at the art right here before we start. So
wow.
So I'm guessing that's supposed to be narrow right here. So yeah. So if you haven't already hit the thing, I'm gonna click the draw again, and definitely. So Mark won that. So Mark, if
DJ Ronnie G, do it, mate. Type it in. You've got another chance. Another chance.
Come on, DJ Ronnie G. Was I supposed to type? Yeah, here he did. So, but yeah, if you're a member, you have a chance to win Star Trek Countdown. So. All right, so going in 1, 2, 3, now.
Frozen.
Dempsey won Countdown. There you go. So we got this. So Dempsey won this.
Ooh.
Mark Clark won Kanan, and Dempsey won Countdown. So congrats, gentlemen. Thank you for participating in this Chillporeal giveaway. So yeah, just wanted to give people incentive to being a member and everything. I haven't been doing that lately, so I figure what, these are fun, and and this is my way of saying thank you for being here in general. So Gray, thank you for doing this. What is going on with you? What projects? What is happening? Or wait.
Where is it?
Where is it?
What are we doing? Like, what is happening?
That's classic.
That's gonna stay on my. That's gonna be forever part of the clips of my my StreamYard. So yeah. So what's going on with you?
What's going on? As I say, this has been fantastic. No problem. Thanks. I wish I could stay longer, but it's coming up to lunchtime here. I need to get some lunch.
And you got your stream right. You're
doing a stream, like I'm talking about a Jake Gyllenhaal movie that's maybe not very well known. Southpaw. It's a boxing movie. Yeah, Rachel McAdams is in it, and she's hot as hell, as Steve, probably the Dragon, actually said. Mm-hmm. She is very hot. So yeah, talk about that later. That's about it. And I've got my weekly comic book show early Monday morning. Just talk about the recommendations for the week. And that's it, baby. That's all. That's all I've got coming up.
Nice. Okay. Well, thanks for once again. Thank you so much for doing this. It was cool having you on again, having this nice little chat with you. So for me, I am coming up on a milestone. I'm almost at 3,000 subs. So I didn't do anything special for 2,000. I had a live stream, and everything. Brought people on. So we had members come on, all that. So I'm gonna make a video this time. So I am going to follow up my "What Does It Mean to Be Nerdporeal" video, which I made for 100 subs a long time ago. Been 2 years. It's been over 2 years since that. Can you believe that? 2 years ago when I started my channel, I was a sweet summer child and everything.
You still are. God.
I mean, I didn't show my face, and I didn't show my face. I still didn't open the. I had the camera. I bought the camera with the computer, but I just never opened the box. I misplaced the box, and so when I was doing streams, I was I didn't show my face and everything. So then for my 1,000, when I got monetized, that's when I started showing my face, and then everybody else started showing their faces after that too. Like Prophet didn't show like. I had Prophet on my channel. He didn't show his face until like later Better Call Saul and everything. And Salty made his grand debut on my channel too. Like he showed his face for the first time. So
I wish Salty had stopped showing his face. That's all I could say.
There you go. So, but yeah. So yeah, and I've never hid my face after that. I've always showed my face. So, but yeah. So I'm gonna do Gray, what do I always say? What is my catchphrase? What do I always say?
Gray is awesome. No, that's the wrong one. Stay nerdporeal.
Stay nerdporeal. So I'm gonna make a video writing what the hell that means. That's what I'm gonna do. So that's gonna be on the docket, and next week's Chillporeal. So next week's Chillporeal, I'm going to have Nerdy Neo, and we're going to be talking about video games because he's a video game guy. So
okay,
so Nerdy Neo, and he started his channel. He was formerly known as Boba Fett. I've had him on my channel. He made his grand debut on my channel too. And so we'll be talking video games. We'll probably be talking about the latest Nintendo Direct and video games that we grew up in, and we'll talk about it. I'm definitely gonna do a giveaway for that too. I got plenty of games that I haven't even touched, so I might as well give them away to people who will play them. So next week, stay tuned. Okay. I'm working on a parody video for why Wheel of Time Season 2 is awesome. And
awesome.
It's awesome, and book readers are toxic. Which is something I do say quite a bit. And I'm trying to get clips from people. I got one clip from someone just saying, "Screw you, Brian, screw you," and everything. So, but I still have to put together. My Premiere Pro sucks right now. It's been lagging as hell. So, need to figure that out first.
Oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's on the docket, and of course my 2001 video, which I promised for a long time. I need to get on with that one, and then I got to do my Mario educational video, and there's a lot of things I want. There's so many projects I want to do. There's infinite things I want to do, and just I can only work on one thing at a time. That's what stinks. So I have to make a schedule. Gray, I gotta make a schedule and everything. So
schedule. What's that all about?
Project management. That's what it's all about. So, okay, but yeah, everybody, thanks for being here. Thanks for definitely subscribe to Wakizashis Teahouse, and everybody, you have a good night. And here is a message from Steve again.
What are we doing? Like, what is happening?
I'm a man of Manethrin, and I approve this message.